Well, Kelly, the long-awaited new Intellivision console is here. No, not the Amico. It's the Sprint from Atari. Because Atari finally stepped in, bought Intellivision, and they managed to get a console out in like less than a year. So, you
And a
know,
pretty
these
a pretty
things.
cool looking one too.
Yeah, it does look nice. Now, were you an Intellivision guy at all?
No, not at all. Um, it I mean a little bit of game time with it, but not much. And so there's not a big nostalgia factor for me here, but I do have to respect what they've done in terms of so it's coming in at about 150 bucks, which is not horrific. And there's some pretty cool things about it. You were probably a little more into Intellivision than me. Is that fair to say?
Just a tiny bit. So I did play a little Intellivision when I was younger. It was more the people who were just slightly older than me, like uncles and things like that, all had 2600s. So that's mainly what I played. But there was an Intellivision here and there, so I did play a little. I didn't, especially when I was younger, take to the number pad controls. That wasn't really for me. But there was a couple of cool games for it. Night Stalker in particular is one that always stood out to me. I've played various Intellivision collections that have come out over the years. I really wasn't, you know, super pumped about the Amico, and obviously, that's never going to happen anyway. So we get this, which is a now what's a little bit different because now we're kind of used to Atari putting out cartridge-based consoles again. This is not. This is a plug and play that comes preloaded with ton of classic games on there, but similar to what Retro Games Limited does, it has a USB port that's set up for you to sideload your own games onto there as well. So, I mean, I know there's people who are upset who have cartridge collections that this doesn't take cartridges. And Atari's even said that's not out of the realm of possibility at some point in the future, but it was more about getting a product out and getting it out at a certain price point, not putting something out that was going to cost so much money. And again, this costs a little more than the plus line, not counting the Pac-Man edition. It's a little more than the plus line, but you're getting all the overlays and things for the number pads with it. So when you think of it in those terms, the price makes sense.
Yeah, and the controllers, from what I can tell, the console itself is about 90% the size of an Intellivision system, and the controllers are 1 to 1. So
Yeah.
that if you have your old Intellivision and it still works and you want to play your cartridges, but you've lost your overlays, they got you. They've got a large number of overlays that come with this, done a little better than the original process. They've got more of a coating on them to maybe last a little longer for you. So that's kind of a nice bonus for people who already have it in television and maybe are still using it a little bit, is you just got to freshen up on your overlays, which is pretty cool. And I think 45 licensed games, I believe, is what goes out on there, and then the ability to sideload, as you mentioned. So it looks good. A couple of the reviews that I've seen on it, there's a little bit of a conversation of the console itself feels a little light, but that's because it's emulation. There's not a lot of stuff necessary for the emulation.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times folks will put a bar of the precious metal aluminum in the bottom of the game or the console to have it feel a little heftier. But to me, the thing you're going to be tactily messing with is that controller,
Yeah.
and huge gain that you don't have this will mean nothing to most of our viewers, but the telephone receiver cord connection is gone and it's wireless, which is fantastic.
It's a big deal too, because I even remember as a kid that being frustrating, the cord that was on them. And I was, we didn't have wireless controllers. I didn't come from old money like Kelly to have the big D cell battery wireless Atari 2600. So I was years away from my first wireless controllers. So that phone cord, man, that sucked even even back then when it was still new and fresh. So that I was watching one review of it and they mentioned not having the cords and it all flooded back like a Nom flashback or something. Just I was like, oh man, that was bad. I remember that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, in fairness, the D-cell powered Atari remote control for the 2600 did double as a boat anchor. So the family could invest, have a multi-use. Not that we had a boat, but we had a boat anchor. So, we were rolling in it. It's pretty great. But yeah, it's I don't know. There's just something that always just read cheap or not great about that phone receiver type cord on this thing. That just even if it had been just more of a straight cable, would have read a little bit differently to me. But still, you had to deal with having all the players within cord's length of it, which is just not great. Where me being used to the vast experience of the Atari 2600 remote control or the to where I wireless controller, so that was pretty nice there. So yeah, so this looks nice. The emulation, I think the guts of it are pretty much right along the plus line in terms of some of the technology underneath it, enabling it. And so that's good. The USB port to go ahead and sideload your games. Great controllers, overlays. If you've got some Intellivision trivia, nostalgia you want to do, seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and I guess this is a skip it, buy it situation. So where are you landed on that, sir?
I'm a skip it, and it's not because of I don't think the value's there. I think the price is right for what it is. It's just one, I don't have a frame of reference for big Intellivision nostalgia. Two, I got a Super Console X, so I can have my Intellivision experience with the exception of I don't have a number pad controller. Now, what's kind of interesting is I think you can buy those controllers separately, and if you can, I'd be really interested to see if I could sync that up with my Super Console X and play the Intellivision games that way, which I think would be great. They showed
That
one of the
makes
videos I
sense.
saw. They showed an Atari controller syncing with this device. So I'm thinking maybe it'll work the other way around. So we'll have to see. But that would be so. I'm maybe a buy it on a wireless controller if I learn a little bit more about my options on that. But as far as the console, it's a skip it just mostly because it's not a space I need. I think if I had a desire to kind of have some more Intellivision experiences different than what I have right now, it'd be a buy it because I think it looks really good and the price is right. But for where I'm at right now, it's a skip it. And you?
Right. I think I'm pretty much in the same place as a skip it. It's funny because when it was first announced that it wouldn't have a cartridge slot, but you could still sideload games, I was like, well, why am I going to buy this if I can't even use cartridge? I don't have a single Intellivision cartridge. What, what good would that possibly do me to wait until maybe they come out with one in the future? And even if they did, again, I have no Intellivision cartridges. So I'd have to start this whole new collection further down the line when they're going to be even harder to get. So that didn't even make sense. I was immediately mad at myself for such a stupid react. That was the collector in me taking over my logical thinking. Um, so pushing that out of the way, I do really like this. I did, wince at the price a little at first, but then thinking about 45 preloaded games, the ability to sideload games, and those great controllers and two overlays for each game. I mean, it is the value for the money is there without question. I don't have that much nostalgia for it. And with a full size Amiga coming from Retro Games Limited that I definitely want at the same price point that runs Workbench, I mean, if it comes down to those two, I'm getting the Amiga.
Yeah. Yeah, and since I worship at the altar of Amiga, that's a pretty easy call for me. Be a take my money when that comes. Plus, we got the Miko's coming anytime soon, so we got
Any day now.
got to save some space for that.
Any day now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Amiga's coming. There's also for the FPGA fans out there, there's also the Superstation is finally coming out. They're doing a third order of that now because there was like pre-orders from earlier this year. Then there was like a second batch, and now there's like a third pre-order run. The price goes up a little bit with each one, but then once it's fully available, first quarter next year, I think the price goes up again to the normal price on that. But that's right now $200, and that has an FPGA that you can do FPGA emulation for. I think like five or six different consoles, but it's shaped like a PlayStation and uses PlayStation controllers and peripherals and everything. And of course, you can run PlayStation games on there, but more importantly, not only can you obviously load your totally legal backup ROM copies of games for all those, but it also has an optional disk drive. And you can play PlayStation, Saturn, Sega CD, and something else on there too using one disk drive. That's optional for that. So
Probably not CD32.
I doubt that, but
Be a
who
stretch.
knows?
Yeah, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that, I mean, if again, that's slightly more, but if $200, I can get all that. So it's really just my nostalgia factor and the price point aren't quite lining up for this, but I do think it's a great product.
Yep, I agree. I agree completely. So I want to leave, of course, with appreciate if you've stayed this long. Sorry we have to drop a to-do list on you, but that's just the way the end of the video works. So like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe to Bog Panda if you're not subscribed, hit the bell, go watch the video again, check out Bog Panda Vision, where there are many totally legal, free to download ROMs and Doom modded levels for you to enjoy. So check it all out on our website. That's there. And I think that's enough. Oh, and check Hard No out. It's the world's shortest podcast, over 1,000 episodes and running strong. Daily updates on that. How can you not?
Bog Panda.